All stations, Mumbai control, 12345 54321. How do you read?
Radio 5, Victor Tango Kilo Romeo India.
Mumbai Control, Radio 5, Victor Tango Alpha November Sierra.
Radio 5, Victor Tango Romeo Sierra Kilo.
Radio 5, Radio 5, Victor Tango, Mike Papa November.
Radio
Mumbai
5,
Control,
Tango India Sierra.
Mumbai Control, Radio 5, Victor Tango Romeo Victor India.
Mumbai Control,
Radio 5, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor.
Mumbai Control, Radio 5, Victor Tango Mike India.
Radio 5, Victor Tango, Hotel Alpha Romeo.
So if you all remember, we were solving one paper and learning different call types. In our first session, if we revise, we saw the exam paper pattern, we saw the flight plan, we saw 13 points that are there on the flight plan. And using that flight plan, we saw a set of 5 questions, which will be the minimum number of questions. And out of those questions, the question number 1, which is carry out pre-flight checks, is something that we did. I want everybody who had attended the session to revise. People who had not attended the session, the link to that recording has already been sent to you all. So you need to, keep your emails in checks in between lectures. Anyone who has not attended session 1, but is going to attend session 2, it is okay to do. But soon after this session, firstly, during the session, write down all your doubts. And soon after this session, you have to try and access and go through lecture 1 also. Now, I want everybody to be clear with what we are doing. People who have been attending batch F1, people who are doing one-on-one sessions with me, people who are doing small batches with me, people who are doing free sessions, people who are doing paid sessions. Right now, only because of the 1 month delay that we had, okay, I have revised everything with a plan to finish proper training of RTR A part 1 and 2 in a short period of time, but with higher sense of quality, considering the exams could be announced in the coming 1 month or 45 days maximum. Okay, so these sessions are very, very important for everybody to attend in sequence. So if you had missed the opportunity before, it is okay. If you were still regular before, that will be an added advantage to you. But in no way will this hamper your training considering the number of people in the batch. If you face any such problem where you're not able to follow instructions, write down and please discuss with me one-on-one. In the end, once your training is over, in the end, we have to do one-on-one sessions. So we will meet one-on-one personally. That is going to happen for everyone. Without doing a mock test with you guys, it will not be okay for me to send you to the examination. All right. So right now, this session, this series of sessions is going to be very important because we are going to cover a lot of things in a very good way, a very practical way, and a very easy to understand way. So please stay in sync Don't be lazy. Don't think like, oh, I could not attend because I had work or I had this or I had medical issues, so I will do it later. Do not miss the opportunity. You will always have the recordings. You'll always have some or the other free time where you can access the recordings as well as the live lectures. I'm doing a lot of hard work to arrange all this, and I want you all to just attend it and not miss it. After this session, you will get the notes about the flight plan and the first, the different codes of the WPCRT examination and all. All right. It will be sent to you via email so that we can have a record. After that, if you want to request it on WhatsApp or Instagram, you can do that. But priority has to be email right now so that we have a record. You can always go back, check your emails and find in sync what we had done. Lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, lecture 4, and so on. That's why I'm keeping the name of the sessions very simple. Lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, lecture 4, lecture 5, and so on. So that you know which one you missed. When was it conducted? The date will actually not matter. Okay. So whatever doubts you have, either write down in the chat box, drop me a message on WhatsApp, raise your hand. We can do that. Okay, but don't miss asking your doubts. That is the only request that I have. You need to be thorough with all that I'm teaching you. And people who have already done RT before and now doing it after a gap, whatever doubts you have, please write them down in the parking lot. Send it across to me. Okay. And whatever notes that I request from you to send me on WhatsApp, okay, I check them. Okay. If I find any error, then I'll get back to you. If I find them to be okay, I might not reply. So don't think I've not read it. If you have any specific question, you can always ask me. So before we go ahead, let's do a little bit of question and answer round. It is okay if you give me a wrong answer, but you have to give me an acknowledgement. You cannot be quiet. And there is no right and wrong answer. The way you give me answers will tell me whether you are ready to give answers in your RT Part 2 examination. Accordingly, I'll give you tips and techniques, what to do, what not to do. So people who have not changed their call signs, try to please rename yourself and use your call signs. So the first question goes to Victor Tango Mike Papa November. What can you tell me about cell call? Any one point about cell call?
Roger, sir. About cell call, we actually do the pre-flight check in an HF through the cell call codes. Vector Tango
Correct.
Mike Papa November.
Correct. Okay. That is correct. A piece of information. Is that entire piece of information? No. But my instruction was to just give me one important point. You gave me one important point. Good. Whenever I'm asking these questions, it will only be based upon whatever you have been taught. If you realize that you have not studied it, it's okay. Just say negative, end with your call sign. And yeah, the technique to answer personal questions or vivas, all right, what is the technique? The first technique you need to remember is that before speaking your answer out, frame your answer in your mind. So there has to be a little delay in between the question asked to you by the examiner and you giving the answer back to the examiner. It will help you not make errors while giving the answer, and it will make your answer much better. We will see it as it happens, but remember this. First, frame in your mind what you're going to speak. Let everything that you have learned about cell call or whatever the question is come to your mind. Let it all gather. And then after 3 to 4 seconds, say, okay, sir, cell call. Cell call is a system used to do pre-flight checks on HF. That is not wrong, but that is not everything. Now, when you're doing it in the class with me, first try to recollect everything that you have studied. And then after recollecting, waiting for your turn, open your notes and see. Whatever questions that I'm going to ask you, it can be open book also. Because this is not an examination. This is just my way of making you remember and learn. But first try to remember and then go through your notes. And then when your turn comes, if your turn comes in this series of questions, then you have to give me the most accurate answer you can. And whenever I say, give me one important thing, a smart student will do what, in one sentence, he will give me 5 important things, but in one sentence. And this has to be your technique to give answers. If they ask you about what is cell call, so me as a student, I will say, sir, cell call is used to give, is a system based upon HF communication. So this, I did not think it through. See, so I was fumbling and I gave just one sentence, system used for HF communication, because this is my introduction. If I would have thought it in my head, okay, it is used in HF, I can use it for pre-flight checks, but can I only use it for pre-flight checks? No, there is also an airborne cell call check, which you guys have not learned. All right. So you need to give more information, or else they will judge you thinking, oh, he's only giving us half information. So I'll think, okay, I know that. I know there are 2 frequencies. I know when I do pre-flight check, I first do it on secondary and then on primary. And that there is a cell call code, unique 4-letter code of 2 pairs of 2 letters each from Alpha to Sierra, except I and O. Then there is an encoder, there is a decoder, there is a keyboard, and there is an oral and visual notification. Now it is complete in my head. It took me not more than 5 seconds. And what I do, I also remind myself the full form of cell call, selective calling. Now, it is easy for me to remember because I taught it to you. I made notes live, correct? How will it become easy for you? Only with revisions. Nothing else. You just need to repeat and read and, just go through everything that you have been learning from lecture 1 only now. You don't have to go back to the other lectures. Just start with lecture 1. Keep everything aside, whatever you have learned before. And then I'll say, okay, sir, cell call, the full form for cell call is selective calling, an important system to relieve the constant frequency monitoring load over from the pilots by assigning a unique 4-digit code to every aircraft and a provision given to the air traffic controller on HF to call the aircraft whenever they need to talk to the aircraft using those 4 codes. This is done with the help of a keyboard, which is with the ATC and a decoder and encoder on board the aircraft with the oral and visual notification system. The codes can be Alpha to Sierra, except I and O. Every aircraft will be given a unique code. And this code will be shared by the aircraft with the ATC during the pre-flight checks only. When we are doing a pre-flight cell call check, we first do it on secondary and then we do it on primary. So that, by mistake, we do not keep the system tuned into secondary, but it stays tuned into on primary. I use the advantage. He asked me to say one thing. I just tried to complete all of my sentence and answer in one sentence without stopping. It took me maybe 5-10 seconds extra than he was expecting. But he has no other question to ask me about cell call now. And he'll be like, okay, this student has studied. This student knows everything. Okay, what can we ask him again? So they will reduce your number of questions if you give them proper answers about any topic asked to you. If they ask you, what is a radio wave? Something that we are going to learn, I think, from lecture 4 or 5. Don't just say radio waves are electromagnetic waves. You say everything that you have learned about radio waves, including frequency spectrums, including VHF, HF, and everything in one sentence. And this has to be your target, guys. If you want to crack in your first attempt, and most of you all are first timers will always be asked to come to the second and third attempt if they don't deliver properly. But if they deliver properly, then this kind of questions asked to first timers in RT exam will be easier than compared to experienced people who already have a CPL or who have already done their AME courses and so on. So now, keeping this in mind, you have to also answer a few more things. Guys, make sure you are your chat messages are secure, All right, next question. Why do we do cell call pre-flight check first on secondary frequency and then on primary frequency? And the question goes to Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor.
So could you please say again? Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor.
Victor Tango Juliet Alpha Yankee, can you repeat the question for me for Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor? Victor Tango Mike November Romeo, can you repeat the question for Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor? Victor Tango Mike November Romeo, no acknowledgement from you. Victor Tango Juliet Alpha Yankee, no acknowledgement from you. Guys, please check. You all are on mute. Whenever you want to speak, you can unmute temporarily and then mute again. It will simulate the experience of PTT, push to talk, which is how you communicate in the actual aircraft. Whenever you want to transmit, you press a spring loaded button known as PTT. And whenever you release it, you go by default on the receiver mode. So in the aircraft, you'll always be on the receiver mode, no matter which frequency you select, and you can always hear whatever is going on that frequency. But whenever you want to talk, you press that button, which is like a doorbell button. You keep it pressed and then you leave it and it comes back to the off position. PTT is what we call it, push to talk. All these things that I'm discussing in between, you need to write them down, okay? These are important. So I'm getting no response from Victor Tango Juliet Alpha Yankee. I'm not getting any response from Victor Tango Mike November
Victor
Romeo.
Tango, Mike November Romeo.
Yeah, I want you to just repeat the question I asked to Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor because he missed it.
Why we do cell call first on secondary, then primary?
Why do we
Victor Tango,
do?
Mike November.
Correct. Thank you. Why do we do pre-flight cell call check? Now there are two types of cell call check, guys. Remember what we have done is pre-flight check. When we take off and when we are in air, in future calls, we will do an airborne cell call check also, which is only done on primary. So the keyword pre-flight cell call check, why is it done on secondary first and then on primary? Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor, please go ahead with the answer.
We do first secondary and then first primary, because if the primary frequency, the ATC can't reach us, the alternative frequency, with that they can reach to flight. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor.
Well, thank you for the answer, but your answer is telling me why do we have primary and secondary? The question is, when we do a pre-flight cell call check, why do we first do it on secondary and then do it on primary?
Because if we do in first in primary, there is some chances that we might miss to do the check in secondary. So if we check in secondary first and then if we come to primary, then it will be we can verify that we have checked in both the things, like in primary and secondary.
Your answer is partially correct, partially incorrect. You're very close to the answer. So always think, check your notes, and then answer again to make it much more better.
Victor Tango, Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Alpha November Sierra. Can I answer that?
Victor Tango Alpha November Sierra, stand by. Very good. You are proactive, but raise your hand instead of, directly speaking. But yeah, guys, focus on the question. This is a very good example. Although Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor knows everything, he's just surprised with how I have asked him the question. Maybe a little bit of, okay, I'm just the second or first person and there's so many students in the class that feel, maybe it's a first time talking to me feel. It could be anything related to a human condition that we all face. I face as a student, I face as an instructor, and everyone might feel something or the other. That's why, although you know what you have studied, somewhere you're not able to, link the accuracy of the question and the accuracy of the answer. And that is very important. And nobody is going to teach you all these things. People will only teach you and leave you. If I'm teaching you, you have to benefit from it. So please, I hope I'm speaking to your mind and not just your screens, all right? Because I cannot see all. No matter how much I want you all to keep your videos on, you guys just choose not to do it. Apart from a couple of students. So remember what I'm saying, my instructions, and I want you all to use those in giving me these answers, okay? Understand, I'm analyzing every student one by one. All right, so Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Victor, answer was correct. partially, but not matching completely with the question. Now, Victor Tango Alpha November Sierra, please go ahead.
So basically, if we are first doing a check on primary and then we switch to secondary, we might forget to change the frequency back to primary as we gear up for our operations, and that's why we do it first on secondary. So we switch to primary, and no mistakes can be made.
Correct. So the actual answer is we first do it on secondary and then on primary, so that the pilot do not have to worry about changing back to the actual important frequency of the day on HF, which is the primary frequency. What happens is, guys, I'll tell you about an incident. Some of you might have seen also. A plane had crashed. I don't remember the country. I don't remember the airline, of course, but it is a part of aircraft investigations, air crash investigations by National Geographic. And it is one of the first videos that I had seen even before I think I had become a part of aviation as a child, as a student, or maybe when I was in between my initial few years in aviation. But I used to make notes of every lecture, write down the name of all the investigators and pilots and everything since then. Now, what had happened was a plane had crashed. And how did the plane crash? So the air traffic controller complained to search and rescue that we are not getting any response from the aircraft. All right. Now, whenever this happens, it is known as distress fa. There are two phases of emergency: alert fa, distress fa. We will do this when we do emergency situations, but you can write it down. So whenever there is an emergency with you as a pilot and you inform ATC about it, ATC virtually rings a siren, not actual siren, but it is the name of a phase known as distress fa or alert fa, where everybody under the control of this ATC will be alerted that one aircraft is in a kind of emergency and all priorities should go to that aircraft, and other ATCs should be able to guide the other airplanes to hold their altitudes and hold everything that they are doing. Okay. That is the reason why you should never fake an emergency, because a lot goes in the backhand when you raise an emergency. Anyway, so that had happened, and they were worried whether the plane had crashed, but luckily the plane was, I think, visible on the radar. So they were confused. If the plane is visible on the radar but still the pilot is not responding, what happened? Is it hijacked? Now whenever you see the plane is hijacked, now this is an emergency, okay, but they did not know what to do. So they scrambled fighter jets to go and check what is wrong. Is it hijacked or what is wrong? When the fighter jets went flying parallel to the airplane, you will get these in the exams also, fighter jets intercepting you. It can happen when you're flying over a area where you're not supposed to fly, where it is illegal to fly, where flying is prohibited. Here, when the pilots of the fighter jets actually reached the aircraft, they realized that the plane was flying straight. The plane was flying, but everybody in the plane, as they saw from the window, had lost consciousness. Everybody was appeared to be asleep. And there was only one child who was seen walking on the aisle near the cockpit, and then he also fell. Okay. The whole of the passengers, crew, and everybody had lost consciousness. And the plane had crashed because nobody was there to control. Everybody on the plane died. It was the worst accident of that time. Very unfortunate. The fighter jet pilots knew they could do something, but you cannot enter into a moving plane. It is not possible. What to do? Nothing can be done, They saw
Sir,
the
I
plane
think
crash.
you're talking about Helios flight 522.
No, I don't know the name, guys. So I don't use it. I don't remember. You guys can easily find it. It is one of the very famous incidents which has helped aviation become much more safe. So what happened when they were investigating? The investigation ran for a long time. They did not know what went wrong. They did not know what went wrong. Okay. They were suspecting this, suspecting that. Nobody knew. But luckily, one of the investigators found the aircraft cabin pressure control panel piece in the debris after a long time that the debris were collected. So what they do is after they collect the debris, they take it to a workshop or a hangar and they join all the pieces of the debris to make a plane again, like a jigsaw puzzle. And then they trace from where the plane started breaking or what went wrong, along with the CVR and FDR reports, which we commonly know as black box. Now in that particular aircraft, see, I don't remember the model of the aircraft also, okay? But all this information is there online. So he saw that the cabin pressure system, okay, the panel was below the front, like a dashboard, you can call it, the cockpit, and the flight controls of with which you operate your rudders, like your leg control, flight controls. So the control panel for air conditioning was somewhere in between, not easily visible to the pilot, okay? And there were two settings, auto and manual, all right? Now what happens is when you learn technical, you will understand cabin pressurization system. One of the most important safety features is that if you put the system on manual, then depending upon your altitude change, you have to change the cabin pressure settings also. You have to either increase the pressure or decrease the pressure to make sure proper oxygen is flowing and people don't suffocate out of hypoxia or faint because of lack of oxygen. This is the meaning of pressurization. All right. If you keep it on auto, then the plane automatically controls the aircraft cabin pressure as you increase or decrease your altitudes. Simple. Now, when the pilot was doing pre-flight checks, in the pre-flight checks, we are only doing communication checks here, VHF and HF. As a pilot, you will have to do a lot of system checks. One of those is a cabin pressurization check also. So when that pilot did a cabin pressurization check, he must have done it on first, secondary, and then correction, first on auto or on manual, or maybe on manual or on auto. But he went through a checklist. The engineer who came to check the same, that engineer, he first checked it on auto. He took his readings, then changed it to manual, then took his readings and left. The pilot was not aware of it because he had already done his part of checks. And because the control panel of the ACP air conditioning panel was not in the direct line of sight, he did not notice. Neither did the engineer communicate him properly that what he had done, because it was a daily task. Nobody ever did that. They just followed their protocol. And without the knowledge of the pilot, the system was on manual, while the pilot thought the system is on auto. That was the only reason why the plane crashed and so many people lost lives. And that is why we first make sure we do a simple check as a cell call radio check, first on primary and then secondary, so that we don't by mistake leave it on manual if it is supposed to be on auto. The meaning is same. All right. And you need to understand all that I'm teaching you is very important, although it seems very small or boring or whatnot. So please, when you are a ground student, give your everything to your studies, be the best. When you are a flight student, when you join a flying school, give your everything and be the best. Only then you will get a job and only then you will grow in your job. All right. Don't just think about, oh, when will I fly? When will I fly? Be wherever you are, give your best in terms of time, schedule, and discipline. All right. A few more questions and then we'll resume with our requesting ATC information. Victor Tango, Romeo Victor India, go ahead.
Mumbai Control, recently you said we do cycle check first on primary and then on secondary. However, we do first on secondary, then on primary. Victor Tango, Romeo Victor India.
No, it might be a slip of tongue. I'm sorry. We will go with the notes.
Yeah.
We first do it on secondary and then on primary when we are doing a pre-flight radio check on HF, which is also known as pre-flight cell call check. I say again, first on secondary and then on primary.
Roger.
Anybody wants to share anything about this story, which was a fact, or about cell call check doing secondary or primary, or a pre-flight cell call check? Please go ahead, guys.
Victor Tango Mike November Romeo.
Use your call sign after you have said what you want to say, okay? Not before. Never use your call sign first thing. Only use my call sign and then your call sign, or maybe your call sign, end of the whatever you want to say, okay? Remember that. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
So when we use cell call codes, why we exclude INO, India November and Oscar? Victor Tango Mike November Romeo.
We exclude INO because INO is associated with other major aspects like routing of certain major world route areas and all. That is one reason. All right. So the codes could mismatch with other codes if INO is used. So they don't use INO. Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo, are you trying to ask or say something?
Yes, sir. Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo.
Yeah. Never use your call sign first, either my call sign or use your call sign at the end of your whatever you are transmitting. Whenever you're talking, it will mean you're transmitting as a pilot and I am the ATC. All right, go ahead, Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo. Or whenever you want to speak something, you can simply raise the station. How do we raise the station? Whom are you calling? Who are you? So basically right now you're calling Mumbai Control because see my name here is VABB ACC. ACC stands for control. So you can say Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo. That means you're knocking on my door and I will say go ahead, or I will say stand by. So use these real life ATC transmissions when you're talking to me to increase the level of your practice, everyone. Please listen, guys. Okay, when you have a chance to speak, say something or the other. Don't let it go. Okay, so Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, I did really want to know a logical answer about the why we use cell call code on secondary than primary.
The reason that I gave is the only logical reason, which is that say when you are doing it first on primary, so you select primary frequency on the HF communication panel, you talk to ATC, give your cell call code, check the cell call, say okay, say changing to secondary, then you change to secondary and do the same call again. That is where your call will finish. But what will happen is the pilot will leave the system on secondary itself then. He will not remember to change it on primary because he does not do just one check, he does 20 to 30 checks in a short span of time. And what will happen is because he will by mistake or inadvertently, the word that we will use in RT is inadvertently, if he leaves the system on secondary, then if he takes off, he will not be aware because he'll be talking to HF a radio after some time, and he will only talk to HF radio when the cell call appears. But HF radio will enter his cell call on primary only all the time. But because this pilot has inadvertently stayed on secondary because he used secondary for the call after primary, so he will not get a cell call. And this mismatch of ATC trying to send on primary and me as a pilot being on secondary will result into RCF, radio communication failure. And that radio communication can result into accidents if not addressed properly. This is why we first do it on secondary and then on primary, so that the pilot does not have to worry about changing the frequency back on primary, because it will stay on primary by default if he uses primary for the second part of the cell call check. This is the logical answer.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Anybody else has anything to ask?
sir,
Yes, go ahead.
sir, I have a doubt on auto call and manual.
Auto and manual that we discussed is not a part of our RT. What it is actually is, it is how you choose to control your aircraft pressurization system. Okay. One thing that is relevant to your RT exams is that when you're flying from ground up to an altitude of 10,000 feet, up to 10,000 feet, you can breathe oxygen even without pressurization. People who have done flying in the US will tell you that they have flown up to 11,500 and 12,000 on unpressurized aircrafts. It works there, but here, when it comes to numbers, you will stick to 10,000 as your limit that you cannot cross if you have to breathe oxygen naturally. Whenever a plane flies beyond 10,000 feet, the pressure reduces. What pressure? The atmospheric pressure. And that will cause physical damage to you and the crew. Thus, we need pressurization system in the aircraft that will maintain the pressure as it is on ground. Now, one thing about altitude you need to know, and this is important for your navigation and your meteorology also, guys. As your altitude increases, your pressure decreases. Okay? Remember, when your altitude increases, your pressure decreases. And what is pressure, guys? This is pressure right now. What I am feeling right now is the pressure. I cannot feel anything because I'm accustomed to it. But if I go on a higher altitude, if I go trekking on Himalayas, I cannot survive without oxygen because the pressure there is less. It means if the pressure is less, the content of oxygen is also less. Body cannot function in low pressures. All right. And this is what happened in that aeroplane. Why? Because the pilot did not manually change the pressure of the aircraft to ground level pressure because he thought it was on auto. If it was on the automatic mode, the aircraft intelligent computer system would have simply kept on adjusting the aircraft internal pressure to suit the people in the aircraft, no matter what the altitude was. Okay, but because it was set on manual, it was the pilot's duty to keep changing it every time he's changing his altitude, which the pilot did not do because he did not know that he was on manual, because according to him, he had to be on auto, and that's where the system had been set. It was the engineer who by mistake did it, and the engineer did not lose his life because he was on ground. Okay, so what you need to remember is, when I will give you call situations where you will be flying at an altitude of say 33,000 feet, that is flight level 330, the question will say that you lose cabin pressure rapidly. This question is there in your exam patterns and everything. You lose cabin pressure rapidly. What does it mean? It means your pressurization system is not working. You don't know why. So what will you do as a pilot? You'll quickly tell ATC, Mayday, 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 Mumbai Control, Air India 129er, over Pratapgarh, flight level 330, losing cabin pressure rapidly. Request immediate descent to flight level 100. Why 100? Because that is 10,000 feet. The first thing you do when your pressurization fails is that you come down to 10,000 feet. You don't need to land. You just need to come down to 10,000 feet. When you come to 10,000 feet, even if your pressurization system is not working, you can breathe the natural air and natural oxygen, even on a airplane, whichever it is, A320 or Boeing 737. And if you try to take a Cessna, which is unpressurized, beyond 1,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, if you try to take it a little more up, the plane is not made to fly for that altitude. You will die of hypoxia, or you will faint of hypoxia, and after fainting, you will crash the plane. Okay. So guys, a little, see, every question will teach you something or the other related to RT. So remember the 10,000 limit. Remember, what will you do if you have pressurization failure? You will request for an immediate descent to 10,000 feet, and afterwards you will plan for an emergency landing at the nearest aerodrome. All this will be taught to you. But if you can write it down, please write it down. So that sums up your answer. And Chetna, please change your name, make it a call sign, Victor Tango, and any 3 letters of your name.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and instead of okay, try to use Roger. Anybody else has to ask anything? Ask or share anything?
Negative Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo.
Negative Victor Tango Mike Papa November.
Great, great. If you have positive, then say, otherwise it's okay right now. You don't need to say negative, everyone.
By control. Victor Tango Victor India Romeo.
Yeah, I was just about to, mention you. Victor Tango Victor India Romeo. I think he's confirmed and he's left a message on chat saying the experience was faced by Helios, as Victor Tango Alpha November Sierra said. Helios Airways 522 and aircraft was Boeing 737. So I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure unless, I'd see it for myself. I don't believe in information, but he might be right. But it is secondary now because that accident really taught us a lot. Victor Tango Victor India Romeo, Mumbai Control, go ahead.
Yeah, so just I want to confirm that in equipment it is written as so it is scheduled, right?
Scheduled, non-scheduled is in the type of flight. Type.
Okay.
In equipment, Sierra stands for all standard navigation, communication, and landing systems are on board. You will get the list of these codes. I'll send notes after this session. Maybe by tomorrow you'll get the notes. But it is in equipment, it means all standard navigation, communication, and landing system on board. And type of aircraft, Sierra means scheduled flight. Type of flight, not type of aircraft. I say again, type of flight.
Roger.
No more questions or suggestions, anyone? Any inputs? Anything going on in your mind? Any experience you want to share about what we are doing right now? Anything about 10,000 feet? Anything about pressure increasing or pressure decreasing with increasing altitude? Yeah, Victor Tango Romeo.
Mumbai Control, Victor.
Go ahead.
Sir, en route it's W56S. So we transmit it as a Whiskey 56 Sierra or Whiskey 56 South.
Very good question. Whenever your routes are named, just like in this flight plan of yours, whenever you see a letter before numbers, you will read it as Alpha Bravo Charlie and so on. And whenever you see a letter after numbers, it will only be north or east or south or west. It will be the direction basically. So any number after the letters in a route, correction, any letter after the numbers in a route will mean northeast, southwest. And otherwise, any letters before the numbers will be read as Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and so on. So in this example, it will be, let me just share it on the screen. So in this example, the route that Air India 129er is flying, departing from Mumbai, arriving at Trivandrum, the route that this aircraft is taking is Whiskey 56 South and then Whiskey 15. So from Mumbai, it will leave on a route Whiskey 56 South. Then wherever Whiskey 56 South connects with Whiskey 15, it will join Whiskey 15. And then Whiskey 15 will lead the pilot and the aircraft to Trivandrum, which is its destination. Okay. So I've summed up the answer here.
FM, Victor Tango Romeo Sierra Kilo.
I am liking these questions, guys, because I think these questions are teaching you all a little more. So the more you ask, the better. Good. Anything else? See, type of flight, I have written there Sierra, and in bracket, I have written scheduled there. And in equipment, number 11, Sierra, I have written all standard. That is a starting point for all standard nav, communication, and landing instruments on board. Okay, it is there mentioned. And remember, whatever you see in this flight plan in bracket, it will not be written The bracket part will not be written. This is just my way of decoding it for you. Only the codes will be written in your flight plans. But until I share the notes with you, it is my job to show you this. When the notes are shared with you, we will only use codes in our next flight plans. So just to remind before we take a short break, just to remind you all, this is our flight plan. Okay, 13 points in the exam flight plan. This flight plan is in sync with your actual ICAO flight plan. The only difference is that the item numbers are not matching. Okay, so I will share the ICAO flight plan also with you. In Viva, they will ask you about ICAO flight plan. In exam, they will give you this flight plan. Okay, so your job will be to use this flight plan and mention in this flight plan which item number corresponds to which item number in ICAO flight plan. Okay, so who are we? We are Air India 129er. Which aircraft are we flying? We are flying Airbus 320. Number 3. Which flight rules are we going to fly with? IFR. Where are we flying from? Mumbai. What is a wake turbulence? Heavy. Now, some people have said that, sir, Boeing 737, 320 have a medium wake turbulence. But in the exam, if they give you heavy, it is okay. That's why I've given this to you here. Go with what is mentioned in the paper because information is hypothetical. Okay. Type of flight, Sierra means scheduled. It means it's a scheduled flight. The flight plan has been filed with air traffic controllers quite well in advance. And you won't believe, but all these airlines that we fly, domestic and international, their flights are pre-planned for the next 3 months. All right. And all the information you can check on the DGCA website. Which flight is after 3 months or after 50, 60 days, where is Indigo flying, where. Everything is given to you, DGCA 3 months, 4 months in advance. Then which route? Whiskey 56 South and Whiskey 15. Time 1600 hours, that is 4 p.m. Your cruising altitude is flight level 330. Flight level 330 actually means 33,000 feet. You just add 2 zeros after the digit of flight level. Where are you going? You're going to Trivandrum, VOTV. What kind of equipments you have? You have all standard navigation, communication, landing instruments. And what is your alternate aerodrome? It is Cochin. And is there any other information that is relevant? Yes, we have a VIP on board. VIP on board, it means priority. And here in bracket, I have written item 18 on ICAO flight plan. Similarly, I'll write all the item numbers here also so that you can easily connect with your actual ICAO flight plan. Now that I have studied this, I'll read the instructions. There will be a few 5 instructions. Then I'll check the map. With the map, I have, although I've not shown you the map, I've just shown you a part that Mumbai VOR, your departure point has these many ATCs. On VHF, that is full form is not written here. And then on HF radio, this is the frequency for primary. Secondary frequency is not written here. SMC is Mumbai ground. TWR is Mumbai tower. APP is Mumbai approach. ACC is Mumbai control. These are the frequencies. On the map, the frequencies will differ. Once I have seen everything, my first question is carry out pre-flight checks. I did it first on VHF with Mumbai ground. Mumbai ground gave me primary and secondary frequency. I used the same and did a pre-flight cell call check, first on secondary, giving my code. And when I'm calling HF, I realized that I have Mumbai radio. What is Mumbai radio? Country is divided into 5 FIRs, with one is Guwahati sub FIR. So we have 4 codes for these FIRs, I, A, E, O. E is shared by Guwahati and Kolkata. All airports in Mumbai FIR, if they have to talk on HF, they'll talk to Mumbai radio. Similarly, all airports in Delhi FIR will talk to Delhi radio, and so on. We have seen that also. Then we have seen how to do a pre-flight cell call check. We also saw how the ATC will play with us by giving a incorrect readback to see whether we are listening to him or her properly. And here the same thing had happened. The pilot had given the cell call code Alpha Charlie Delta Bravo, but ATC responded saying Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. And we said negative. I say again, all these raised to numbers that you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are standard phrases that you need to keep using. So we said negative, which means no. I say again, which means I repeat for clarity or emphasis. Checking cell call. Cell call okay. Changing to, whenever you're changing from one frequency to another, you have to use the word changing to. Whenever you ask someone to wait for you, that wait, I'll call you back, you use standby. and this was the call made. Cell call was considered to be okay. In the exam, you assume that you have got the oral and visual notification. So you say, okay, great. What you check in cell call, basically you check whether the code given by you, if entered by the ATC, that is radio, can give you visual and oral notification in the cockpit or not. That is how we do pre-flight communication check on HF. In VHF, we check the readability, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? On a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is unreadable, 2 is readable but with difficulty, 3 is readable now and then, 4 is readable, 5 is perfectly readable. Remember this, guys. And what is a cell call system? Known as selective calling. What are the codes? That's it. Why is it used? To relieve the load of constant frequency monitoring from over the pilots. Now we are ready to solve the further answers. Which is the next question? It is a very simple question. Request ATC information. Okay. And I think all these 4 questions are very easy, which we can wrap up today before we end the session. So let's take a break for around 8 minutes and see each other sharp at 8 o'clock. So guys, freshen up. I know you might have a dinner time or something. Just adjust it and push it a little further. We'll finish the session and then I'll leave you all. So come back. I'm not disconnecting. I'm just going on mute and video off. You do the same and come back and continue the same session. Now we don't need to, rejoin again and again. So I'll see you all at 8 o'clock. That is 2000. Come back and we'll wrap up quickly. We are on break right now. Is everyone back? You can just let me know in chat, okay? Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo, go ahead. Guys, if you're back, you can also, raise the hand on the software. That will be easy for me to see how many have come. Okay, I only see 8 participants have come back from the break, although we are 24, 25. Please raise your hand if you are back, guys and girls. Raise your hand, drop a affirm in the chat box. You can do both. That will be great. At least raise your hands if you are back. I don't want anyone to miss anything. Still 11 more to go. If you're back and if you're not raised your hand, please do it. If you are back from the break, if you have not raised your hand on the software, please do it. Okay. Acknowledging everyone who is present. So let's go ahead with the question number 2. And I have 2 questions in the chat section. Those questions, guys, please write it in your parking lot, okay? Just in case we miss the chat history, although we'll not miss the chat history. One is with Victor Tango, Juliet Alpha Yankee, and the other is from I think Victor Tango, Romeo, Sierra Kilo. Yeah, Victor Tango, Sierra, Sierra Kilo. Okay. Or if possible, drop this doubt on WhatsApp to me also. Keep it in multiple sections so that we can address it and we don't forget them. Okay, good. See, this is why I want everybody to keep their videos on. So we don't have to go through attendance manually, do this and that. I can just see whoever is present. I cannot emphasize more on the importance of it, but still you guys are not complying. Please make it happen in future sessions, okay? So what is question number 2? Let's go back to the question paper. Request ATC information. Question number 2 says request ATC information. So what is ATC information? How to request it? Very simple. We will see with this live example. This is your call script and this is your call structure. This is how you take it and this is how you have to take it in the examination. Okay, so I'll just remember how to divide the page into equal parts. Here is Air India 129er as seen from the flight plan. On the left side, on the right side, I know which ATC am I talking to right now? Mumbai Control. So that I don't forget whether I'm calling the right person or not, I write it up. Now I start. When do I go to question number 2? When after doing my question number 1, the ATC tells me to go to the next question, which he or she did. See, go to the next question here. Never jump onto the next question until you have been told go to the next question. So let's do it. Everybody write this call. About the call, write request ATC information so that you remember how to do ATC information calls. Note, requesting ATC information also means request weather information. Very important, write it down. It is as good as requesting weather information. So the call will be like this. Mumbai ground, Air India 129er, stand 2, IFR Mumbai to Trivandrum, request ATC information. So this is how I'll frame my first call. You as a student have to frame your first call like this for a question that sounds like request ATC information or request weather information. It is one and the same. Okay. Let's just check this call quickly. Have I followed the 4 Ws? First W would be who am I calling? Am I calling the right ATC? Have I used the ATC call sign correctly? Yes, Mumbai ground. I've checked it. What is the second procedure? 4 Ws. Who are you? Your call sign. Is it correct? Air India 129er. Yes. Correct. Where am
Mumbai
I?
ground, Victor Tango Foxtrot Whiskey Golf.
Victor Tango Foxtrot Whiskey Golf. Stand by unless you have a readability issue.
Roger.
Yeah. So first W, whom are you calling? Mumbai ground. Second W, who am I? Air India 129er. Third W, where am I? Stand 2. This is a parking stand. You can assume it if not given in the paper. Why are you calling? Request ATC information directly from the question. Simple. One important element I shared is IFR Mumbai to Trivandrum. Now, when I was writing, I was not sure whether the Trivandrum location designator is correct or not. So I should check it before writing in the flight plan in the question paper. Then I thought about it and I recollected it and I entered it later after my call was done. You can use these techniques so that you don't interrupt your call also, and you can, add on to the details you have missed writing before submitting your answer for evaluation. So I check here and I realized Trivandrum code I actually used was correct. So no matter what happens, you don't fumble, go with the flow, be smart enough to finish what you're writing, maybe a little time later after you have said speaking, but don't miss writing what you listen. All right. That is very important because what you say and what you miss writing, what you say is okay. You can always write it later also before submitting. But if you miss hearing what he or she says as an ATC, then you will have no chance to write it again. So this is how you request for ATC information, also known as request weather information. Victor Tango, Foxtrot Whiskey Golf, go ahead.
Yes, sir. When we started the call, we made a call to Mumbai control. And when we started writing, it's Mumbai ground, Air India 129er. Is that how? Is that the correct way?
I don't think I said Mumbai control, because the call has to go on ground, because the first call also went with ground and we are on ground. We have not even started our startup or pushback or taxi. So we will be tuned into ground only. So the call will not go to control in any way. You'll only talk to control in those times when you are at a higher altitude in air. For all those calls when you are parked on the ground, like this example of this, all the 5 questions here, the call will go to ground if you have ground on your airport. If you don't have ground on your airport, the call will go to tower. So I'm not sure if you heard me correctly, because I remember saying Mumbai ground. If I accidentally said Mumbai control and wrote Mumbai ground, so I want others also to bring it out to my notice so that I can validate this point.
No, so when we distributed the page, we wrote on the right hand side Mumbai control. That's what I'm just trying to say. That's
Okay,
all.
so okay, now I understand this Mumbai control here. Yeah, change it to Mumbai ground. I understand now what you're saying. So please be very clear and specific with what you say, okay? Because otherwise, what you say and what the examiner will hear will be a completely different thing. So it is your job to communicate in a right way. Don't expect others to understand what you mean, but you have to, focus on speaking the right thing. And Victor Tango Foxtrot Whiskey Golf, I think we have had similar experiences before also, when in the first go, your question was misunderstood. So please frame it properly and make it a little easy and clear. We can say, sir, on the right side in the name of ATC, you have written it incorrectly. I think it should be Mumbai SMC, but you have written ACC. That is how you should have said. But what you said is that in the first call, you wrote ACC, but then you wrote SMC. So when you started talking about first call, my attention did not go here. Okay. I'm just saying so that, communication can be better. And thank you for bringing it to my attention, or else others would have been confused. That's very vigilant of you. Very nice.
Roger.
Okay, so this is the first call. This is how you'll request ATC information, all right? Let's see what happens next. I give 5 to 10 seconds for the air traffic controller to reply. I'm not getting a reply. Let's assume I'm not getting a reply. So what do I write? No reply or no response. Wait, I'll show you. So whenever you're making a call, like here I made a call to Mumbai ground, you give 5 to 10 seconds for Mumbai ground, that is your examiner, to respond back to you. 5 to 10 seconds, okay? If they don't respond back within that much of time, what do? Don't just wait for eternity for the ATC or the examiner to reply. Only 5 to 10 seconds, maximum 10 seconds. If they don't reply, you write here no reply in the ATC section, okay? And then you raise the station for this ATC again. You just need to raise the station again. Don't take the whole call again. So how do you raise the station? Mumbai ground, Air India 129er. I'm waiting 5 to 10 seconds. You as a student have to wait in the examination, in real life, both. No response, ATC is not responding. Right, it is very important that you write no response. And then you change to the next available ATC and you raise the station. This is very important, guys, and they will simulate this in the examination. So I quickly check on the map, which is the next ATC after ground. After ground, I have tower. So I'll call tower. It is important you check before making the call. So I'll quickly say, and see how I do it when my original ATC is not talking to me. See how I do it. Mumbai tower, Air India 129er. negative contact with Mumbai ground. And then I give this ATC also 5 to 10 seconds. Luckily, I get a response. Air India 129er, Mumbai Tower, go ahead. Now I have permission to speak, correct? Here we see a few more phrases. Request is phrase number 7. Contact, phrase number 8. Go ahead is phrase number 9. So far we have seen 9 phrases already in 2 examples. Remember the importance of these phrases. You have to use these phrases. I'll not show you the list of phrases now. I'll just show you them as we use them in our solutions. And later on, when I share the notes, you will get the list of all the phrases and the meanings. So what will be my response here? I hope you guys are writing. End of the session, you have to share notes with me over WhatsApp. You can convert all your pictures in one PDF and send. That will be better. If you cannot do it, then you can send me individual pictures. Now that I have go ahead, see how I'm framing the call again. I'm using the 4 Ws again after a go ahead. That is important. Mumbai Tower, Air India 129er, stand to IFR Mumbai to Trivandrum. Request ATC information. Air India 129er, Mumbai Tower, runway in use, runway 27, RVR 5500, wind 150 degrees 10 knots, sky clear, no significant weather. So this is where the ATC stopped. I understand ATC is done giving me the information. Now, what is the rule whenever ATC speaks? The rule is to give accurate read back of the information or the instruction. Please focus how to give the accurate read back. If you write it properly, you will have no problems in doing it. I'll start with the information which starts with runway in use. Okay, this is the point. You don't have to take the first 2 call signs. This is not the information you need. The information has started from runway in use. That is from where you need to start your read back and then end with your call sign. Runway in use, runway 27, RVR 5500, wind 150 knots, sky clear, no significant weather, Air India 129er. Go to next question. Another success. You should be very happy and proud of yourself. These are good answers. Every time your ATC information, which is also known as weather information, can change. The pattern can change. This is a very basic, simple pattern. Important and info. There are more things that can be added to it. And the same you can hear on ETIS also. Right now in Mumbai, we have DATIS as seen on the map. So we don't really need verbal ATC information from the pilot, from the ATC. But if it is given to you in the examination, then you should take it. But ideally, you will not request ATC or weather information from your air traffic controllers to those airports where you have DATIS. This information is on the chart. Remember this also. So for airports like Pune, where they only have tower and no DATIS, no ground, nothing, you can directly call tower and request weather information. So this is how you request ATC information. And over here on the question, let's just make a note so that, you know, guys remember. Also known as weather information. ATC information is also known as weather information. So in the exam, if they ask you to request weather information, you just say request weather information. It is just like ATC information. And generally this information has to be given by, what do we say? Tower only. That's why Mumbai ground did not respond. Okay. So in the exam, even if you call the incorrect ATC, you will not get wrong marks because the ATC will not respond. That will actually mean you are actually not calling the right ATC. There are two things that could that could mean, you know, when you don't get a response from a traffic controller. Maybe he's simulating that in real life this ATC is not available to talk, or maybe he's hinting that you have called the wrong ATC. So the simple thing is to call the next available ATC in sequence. See how the readback needs to be given. I'm showing you in a way wherein you see that how I am writing like an amateur, making little mistakes, correcting them. Okay. Slowly, as you guys grow, you will see me also give you those kind of calls, but this is good to go. This is good enough for your examination. All right. We saw phraseology number 8, contact. It means establish communications with. Here, negative contact with Mumbai control, correction, negative contact with Mumbai ground. I have directly said it because if I do not say it, then Mumbai tower might tell me that Air India 129er, Mumbai tower, please contact Mumbai ground. Come on, we know, we tried Mumbai ground. That's why we are calling you. That's why we are calling you. So why waste the time? Just simply tell them Mumbai tower, Air India 129er, no contact with Mumbai ground. So tower will either ask you to stand by, then tower will call Mumbai ground on a landline or interphone or point-to-point contact. So all ATCs are connected with a system of interphones or landlines. It is also known as point-to-point communication. So even if radio systems fail, all ATCs can communicate via hard lines, wired lines. So he or she will try to see, okay, why is Mumbai ground not talking to this aircraft? What's wrong? Like this. Go ahead means pass on your message. Whenever you raise a station, you want to talk to someone, please raise the station. Only once you're told go ahead that you can talk to that ATC. You cannot just simply jump in between. It seems very rude and interrupting. And this is how we do a readback. Don't use the call signs mentioned in the readback. He's just following the protocol of 4Ws as an ATC. Your readback will start with the information or instruction given to you, not the call signs. So the information started with runway in use. So you just gave as it is. See, it is exact carbon copy. And it has to be exact carbon copy. You cannot change it, cannot skip anything. And then you just end with your call sign so that it is confirmed to the air traffic controller that he or she was talking to the right aircraft or the pilot. And then you are told to go to the next question. Okay. I hope everybody is thorough with question number 2 and how to request ATC information. So it is time for me to answer your doubts, and then we'll end the session. The rest 3 calls and subsequent calls will connect for our next session. We will have a class tomorrow at 7 p.m. This week we will do 7 p.m. only. Okay. So guys, a verbal confirmation I'm giving to you right away. Tomorrow 7 p.m. same link, but email instructions will be sent to you. Please keep a check on your emails. All right. So we will continue from there, and we'll directly jump solving at least 4 or 5 call types tomorrow, and then we'll discuss about other things and everything so that we can also
Mumbai Control, Vector
do
Tango,
more of
Mike Papa
calls.
November.
Standby. I'm speaking. Victor Tango, Mike. Standby. Station calling Mumbai Control. Standby. So when you don't hear the call sign of the person calling you properly, what you can say is station calling me. That is station calling Mumbai Control. Standby. Or if I want to know his or her call sign, I'll say station calling Mumbai Control. Say again call sign. All right. So station calling Mumbai Control. Say again call sign.
Mumbai Control, Vector Tango, Mike Papa November.
Victor Tango, Mike Papa November, Mumbai Control, go ahead.
Mumbai Control, you requested that there is a negative contact with ground and you jump onto the tower. Then why didn't you request to the DETES? Vector Tango, Mike Papa November.
DETES you cannot request. DETES is like tuning into a FM channel and listen whatever they are transmitting. First thing. Okay. Ideally at Mumbai, to get the weather information, you will always tune into DETES and get the information directly and remember the code of the information, something that we know as information Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and so on. Here, I had no possibility of requesting to DETES because DETES will not respond back like a live ATC. And the reason I did not monitor DETES is because I got this question in the paper. So I have to abide by the question in the paper where I have to verbally request ATC information. And if I have to verbally request, then it will only be with live ATC, either Mumbai or Tower. That's why I went from Mumbai to Tower. You cannot go to DETES to talk to anyone. Nobody is going to respond. It is a computer generated voice, which keeps transmitting like a radio, like a signal. That's why I told you all DETES is broadcast. Broadcast means only one-way transmission. The other person cannot talk. Remember this, everyone, okay?
From Vector Tango, Mike Papa November.
I'm going to answer the other 2 questions. Until then, if you have more questions, please write down or you can talk to me by raising my station. Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Kilo, the question is there some question? Sir, there is some question that has both IFR and VFR. How we make it in exams? IFR and VFR together as flight rules, the code is Yankee. And in your flight plan, in your route section, you will be given where you change from IFR to VFR, the significant point. That's it. In your exam, you have to keep a note of that point. If you have a question wherein you are supposed to be on one of those points, then you have to just say changing from IFR to VFR at that point. That's it. And if you are giving a report, you can say, for example, Mumbai Control, Air India 123, flying from Mumbai to Trivandrum, IFR up to Pratapgarh, VFR thereafter up to Trivandrum. This is how you have to just verbally transmit it, depending upon your flight plan. Okay, I'll just use hypothetical names. So this is how you will make it in the examination if you have IFR and VFR. Don't worry, IFR first and then VFR, the code is Yankee. VFR first and then IFR, the code is Zulu, Z.
Roger, sir.
Next question is regarding the oxygen system in large aircraft like Boeing 787. There are ozone converter to maintain the pressure. Okay, guys, don't quote me on this. This is just a question. But in small aircraft, there is no such thing. How do they maintain pressure? Good. Pressurization system is not there in small aircrafts. A few aircrafts might be equipped with it, but the question here is about smaller aircrafts. Small aircrafts do not maintain pressure. They don't have the possibility to maintain pressure. What does it mean? It means you cannot fly over a certain altitude. Simple as that. If you try to fly, you will fall dizzy, you will faint, you will have hypoxia, and it is not good. So small aircrafts cannot maintain pressure. It means they can only fly up to a maximum altitude of certain limitation. For you, it should be 10,000 feet. Sometimes it can go up to 12,000 feet, depending upon the weather pressure conditions, but it cannot fly above that. That is the point. Okay, remember. Anybody else has any question? Please go ahead. Have you guys raised the station for questions? If yes, then just go ahead.
So if we are tuned into wrong frequency, then ground can also tell to change the frequency to tower also, no?
Yeah, in real life, obviously, they will ask you to contact the right authority. Just like Tower said here that Tower would have said contact ground if I would have not said negative contact with ground. But in examination, you cannot expect ATC to do that because the ATC will expect you to call the right ATC in the examination. So in the examination, you might not get those favors. In real life, it is all harmonious and you all are helping each other. So definitely you get it in real life. In examination, no, they will not tell you. They will just simply choose not to respond. And that's how many students, lose on time because they don't know what to do. If ATC is not responding in the first question itself, what to do? They panic and they lose 10 minutes in just first question. Then they cannot finish in time and they lose the chance. So whatever I'm teaching you is to, make sure that you crack in your first attempt. Next question. Victor Tango November India Sierra. Victor Tango Sierra Lima Kilo. Quick. And Victor Tango Kilo Romeo India.
Mumbai Control. What if for an air dome, we don't know what's the actual name of the air dome is, since we only know there are 4-letter codes. So how to call, what will be the call sign for that in that case?
So such a thing will never happen actually, because every code is given to you on your flight plan, and before you proceed, you're subjected to a few briefings, at ATC briefings, communication briefings, weather briefings. In those briefings, you are informed about all the possible air traffic controllers and the names of them. Suppose a situation of this kind can arise when you are planning to go at an aerodrome where you're not filed for in your flight plan, like an emergency landing or something. In that case, your existing ATC will help you with the frequency and the name of the other air traffic controller. You don't have to worry about it. And even if that you don't find it, then you can simply, use the codes as in letters: Victor Alpha Bravo Bravo Control, request call sign. This is Air India 129er on 121.4. That is the last thing that you could do. So if you don't know the 4-letter designator code like Echo Golf Lima Lima, you don't know if that is London. Okay. So you'll say Echo Golf Lima Lima control, request call sign, unable to decipher, Air India 129er, like this. Then you can just use RT phraseology and explain what you want from them.
Roger, Victor Tango Mike India.
But in RT exams, you will have to remember. So I'll give you a list of all stations and all codes. You keep reading them on a regular basis and you'll memorize it. Okay.
Roger.
Victor Tango Kilo Romeo India, you have a question?
Negative Victor Tango Kilo Romeo India.
Victor Tango November India Sierra, do you have a question? Victor Tango November India Sierra Mumbai Control. So this is RCF now. I'm announcing an alerfa situation on the background. Guys, on the screen, I have written Mumbai Control is for you to address me in a normal conversation. This is not directly related to what we are solving on the question paper, all right? So don't get confused. Question paper will be according to the questions only, all right? So, guys, although we have just one call today, but we have discussed so much of important information about part 2, part 1, your performance, what to do when ATC doesn't respond, how to give a read back, everything, so much more. This is to build up the sense of logic inside you. Okay. And you go with it. If you don't understand all these things, and if you just go through, okay, sir, there are 50 call types and I'll do 50 call types, you will not be ready for the examination, because the examination experience is totally different than just, totally different than other examinations where you just sit with yourself. This is very interactive. And no two students will be subjected to the same type of exam, although the question papers will be same for 6 students in a batch. In a batch, there will be at least 30 students. And they will be divided in a group of 6 students, or 5 or 7. So all these 6 students will be given the same paper, but they will have 6 different examiners, individual examiners. So their experience will be different. All right. So what I'm training you is with respect to the 30 probabilities that you will get. And nobody else can do it for you. This is just to guarantee that you crack in your first attempt. Otherwise, if I just teach you the way others do, okay, and just give you the list of all calls and then teach you part 2 and then send you to the examination, 1 or 2% of you all can still crack in your first attempt. I'm not saying you won't, but you will ideally be able to crack after 3 to 4 attempts on your own after realizing, okay, this is how it happens. Something that I'm already teaching you right now. And it works. Majority of my students have cracked in their first attempts. Not all. Everybody has got their license though. Whoever has attempted. But majority of them have done in the first attempt. And there are students who were as good as in 4th semester of their AME exams. They have cracked in their first attempt. So young. And CPL students, even before they have got their computer number, have cleared their RT exams with me. In the submission, the applications were still there with DGCF computer numbers, but RT can be given without computer number, and they have cracked in their first attempt. And now they are flying in New Zealand here and there. They don't have to worry about RT conversion anymore. So just follow, don't miss, follow this series of lectures. You will be sorted, and we will be joining each other on personal sessions also once your training is done for mock sessions. We're going to do a lot of studies, a lot of practice. Until then, if you have any questions or doubts, let me know. A recording link of this will be shared to you. Although you already have the YouTube channel link, it will be just there in the playlist after this the earlier video, but I'll still share it, and the notes will be shared with you whenever I think is the right time to share with you all. So I'll notify via email. And last but not the least, guys, if there is anything that we can improve as a feedback, let me know via personal chat on WhatsApp or Instagram. I'll be very happy to improve anything that you want. And I'll keep it discreet. That being said, guys, please study well, keep revising slowly and steadily. You will get more content to remember. So revise on a daily basis. Whenever I'm not conducting a lecture, use that time and lecture time to revise. I'm just making it easy for you guys. Okay. And once the session is over, I need to see your notes picture. Whatever you have made, please share a picture on WhatsApp. Every one of you. Please have a nice night and nice dinner. I'll see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. sharp like today.